Hey there, it's Gladys, and I have another answer to another burning question. And the theme for the next few days is probably going to be trust. I'll go in and out of it because there were other questions that didn't have to do with trust, but I know it's one of the biggest things that Michelle and I hear the most about. It's the most common fear that women have, is that they're going to make the same mistake that they made before. And what does that mean? That means that you're afraid that you're going to choose the same kind of man that you did before, that you're going to end up in the kind of relationship that you were in before, that you're going to lose yourself in a relationship like you did before. So I really want to speak into this, because until you feel that you can trust yourself, what you're going to do is you're going to say, I don't, I'm better off single. And you are better off single than unhappy. But what about if there's another alternative, which is being happy while you're in a relationship? That's the one we're playing for. So what is it? What the question that I got was, why is it that I keep attracting men who are needy or broken in some way, and then I keep giving and giving and giving, and I end up then feeling, there's a combination of a couple of questions that we got. I start to feel resentful. I feel like I'm not getting my needs met, and it's exhausting. So there is a reason why some women tend to attract men who are needy. Here's what I mean. Needy, I don't believe anybody's broken, but this is the person who's getting back on their feet, who just needs a little bit of time to get themselves together, who's figuring themselves out. And look, I am a believer in second chances. The work that I do, right? I wouldn't even be doing this work if I didn't believe that we can change, that we can transform, that we can become the versions of ourselves that we were created to be. But if you see that you keep attracting that kind of person, that kind of man into your life, I want you to go a little bit further back before you even started dating. When did that pattern start coming up for you? It's 99.9% chance that it's a learned behavior. There was somebody in your life, probably most likely in your family when you were young, that you probably way before it was developmentally appropriate, you had to maybe start taking care of your siblings or even one of your parents, right? Where you felt like you were responsible if the parent was addicted or had mental health issues, or there was a lot of suffering and sacrifice in the home because maybe she was a single mother trying to, just keep things together. By the way, I've lived through all of the things that I just described. That was my childhood. And I say that because I think sometimes people think, oh, you're in a great relationship because of your background, or because you didn't go through the trauma and you didn't have the abuse. And I went through all of it. I went through all of that growing up. It's why I believe so strongly that your past is an informer. It gives us information. It is not a predictor. It is not a predictor of what's possible for you. But if you've been seeing that you keep attracting men, and I promise you, you'll see it in there's friends that you're having this neediness relationship with. There's probably at work, you're the one that you feel like everything gets dumped on you, like the hardest cases or the most difficult accounts or the most difficult employee to manage, because you have this tendency. Now there's a dark and a light side to everything, and that probably means you're a very generous, loving, compassionate person, and you also get to be loved and treated well, and to have your needs met and valued and honored in a relationship. So we've got to find out, what is it that keeps having me attract people who are needy, who need me? Now that person needs you. And I'm going to say something that may trigger you, and you can schedule a call or reply to this, whatever, whether it was a text or a post or an email, and we can have a conversation about this. But they need you, and you need to be needed. It's very likely that you need to be needed, because as long as they need me, they won't, and you can complete that sentence, and more than likely it's they won't leave me. They need to stay with me. So this is why I say it's multiple things. There's probably a fear of abandonment. There's perhaps the love formula that you created is love equals sacrifice, or love equals suffering, or love equals giving. And it does involve giving, and it also involves receiving. So if you're only getting one side of it, that's what's having you feel resentful, like your relationships are lopsided, because they are. So the first step is to figure out, what is it that I created as an identity, as the helper? What had me create that identity? And then how do I continue being a loving, generous, compassionate woman, and start attracting men who also know how to be loving, considerate, and affectionate towards me, and it's not a dependent or a codependent relationship. It's actually an interdependent relationship where we are both giving and receiving. Notice how I didn't say giving and taking, giving and receiving in this relationship. When you have that, when you've got interdependence, that's when you have a happy, healthy foundation for a relationship. So if that's what you want, reply to this message. I'll give you some next steps, either me or someone on my team. But what you get to do is to break this pattern and possibly cycle that's maybe been passed down for generations in your family, so that you can be the catalyst of creating a new trajectory, not only in your love life, but in the love life of your family, of generations that are and generations to come. All right, I'll see you on the next burning question.